Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Artem, and in today's video I'll recommend to you 3 books that you have to read if you want to improve your English just substantially. If you want to harden your English into bulletproof. So just obey what I'll tell you and read those 3 books. And the books in our list are Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Can't Hurt Me by Devin Goggins, and Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And I want to emphasize one important point before we start is that you have to read those books consistently because a sporadic effort will lead you to nowhere, and seldom every person can improve their English by reading without doing that consistently. So just do that consistently. Okay, let's get started. And our first book that we're gonna discuss today is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it's gonna be really good for you to read it, especially if your level of English is B1 or B2. When I just first started reading that book, it was really complex and complicated for me to read it because it was written in 1937, and the English that this book contains is a little bit kind of complicated, formal, and rich in its grammar structures and in general how sentences in this book are structured. Reading this book will definitely improve your writing and how you speak because you will observe all this kind of formal and a little bit complicated English. For example, such constructions as far as I'm concerned, you're right as far as your reasoning goes, because I knew it from my attitude in connection with such matters. Sounds really good, sounds really kind of, beautiful, right? And also the vocabulary and other English expressions that you're about to learn from that book are valuable, are so priceless for the reason that the content that this book contains is based not just on some practical money advices, but it's literally a full philosophy of success and how to translate your subconscious desire for money into its physical equivalent in this outer world. So, which will help you to understand more abstract definitions, and will learn how to describe a lot of abstract psychological, philosophical vocabulary instead of just talking about practical things such as dog, vase, cat. For example, cunning, apprehension, astounding, repellent, rebellious, embellish, unprecedented, beforehand, seldom, indulgence, intemperance. Definiteness, astonishing, precision, wipe out, explain away, wait out. A lot of phrasal verbs as well too. So as I said before, this book is really rich in its vocabulary, how it's written, and its grammar structures and its ideas, which will help you significantly improve your English. Okay, let's get down to our second book, and the second book in our list is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Oh my god, I love this book, how you read it recently, and let me explain the point. I really enjoyed reading that book because I was liberating my mind, educating myself, but at the same time absorbing the full David's story. Because this book is full of David's personal stories about how he became a Navy SEAL, how he went through the war, how he operated on the field, and also how he encountered and faced a lot of his personal fights, traumas and trials that he encountered, and how he had to go through them. Since it's literally the full story of his life, how his life unfolded, you can literally observe every piece of that book and apply it to your own English. For example, in moments when David is describing how he went through the military, or how he ran marathons, or how he did a record when he did 4,000 pull-ups in one day, we're able to learn a lot of practical vocabulary related to sports, to the military, to daily life in general. For example, the duct tape, the bar, the bulletproof, the dive gear, ribbon, creek, snowbanks, ridges, rucksack, bad blood, loose acquaintance. So a lot of vocabulary, practical vocabulary, and also a lot of slang and some real spoken American English and how people speak in everyday life. All of this you can find in this amazing book. So this book teaches us how to go through inevitable suffering that occurs in our way, and at the same time how to become stronger, sharper, tougher, and build real mental toughness that will help us endure any storm and cope with any stress. Okay, let's move on. And our last book that I'm about to discuss today is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I read it recently too, and I can say that this is the most controversial and unconventional book that I've ever read. So in this book, Napoleon Hill had a confrontation with the devil when he was talking to him, and Napoleon compelled the devil to confess how he controls our society, how he controls people's minds, and how he makes people do and think bad things. So the main point of this book is that your thoughts construct your reality, and every single thing that you're thinking about can be the reason why your life going the exact specific way, whether it's bad, whether it's good, whether you're poor or you're wealthy, whether you're happy or you're miserable. When I was reading Outwitting the Devil, I noticed that some of the concepts that this book is trying to convey to us, they're so boundless, so deep, and so incomprehensible, because I'm sure, like many native speakers in English, will not understand at all what this book is trying to tell us, because they're not even used to read such books with such a depth. So, and I think the key to fluency is the depth. The more concepts, contexts you are able to understand in a foreign language that you learn, the more automatically fluent you become. So in total, after reading those 3 books, you'll have 1,000 pages of reading in your experience, which is very good. And it's not a quick method, not a thing that you do overnight and in tomorrow's morning, oh my god, my English is so improved, look at me, thank you, Artem. No, we're not gonna make it super easy. We will make it real and effective. And it took me just 3 months to read those books. Yeah, really, just if you read from 5 to 10 pages on a daily basis, by simple calculation, we can conclude that it will take you just from 3 to 4 months. These books are not easy, but they're going to be useful for you if your level of English is B1 or B2. They will help you achieve C1 level if you read them with dedication and consistency, and if you practice this vocabulary in your daily life as well. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel to watch more content in my channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.